So everybody always on the job, whether it's with the fire department or the police department, there's always things that we're doing that isn't always necessarily seen. So we appreciate your dedicated service every day, day in, day out, month after month, year after year. So thank you for that. When we get into Officer of the Year, Reserve Officer of the Year, again, I mentioned there's a lot of people that could be in the running for those awards, but you know, there's certain ones that stick out. There's certain ones that stick out. The certain one that stuck out for me, certainly, for our Officer of the Year for the Oxford Village Police Department, is Officer Gary Rouse. Gary, come on up. Before we present the award, Gary, a few things about Gary. Gary's been a police officer at the Oxford Police Department since 2017. In those years, Officer Rouse has been punctual and reliable, to say the least. He took it upon himself to be available for any shift when another officer was out with a sickness or an injury. This action helped the police department maintain consistency and fill necessary voids. Officer Rouse performs in high standard and is willing to take on many tasks. He's a field training officer and a breathalyzer tech. He will also be attending training this year as an evidence tech. When a major case arises, Officer Rouse takes it on until it is complete, even if he must come in early or stay late. Officer Rouse is a dependable officer that you can rely on to get the job done. I know when I call Gary and I say, hey, listen, I'm going to have an officer out for a little while. Can you please change your shift for me so it doesn't create a lot of overtime? Yeah, Chief, whatever you need. I mean, what are you going to say about that? I mean, that is just outstanding. That just means you're a team player. I love team players. So, Officer Gary Rouse, your credit to the Oxford Police Department as well as the Oxford community, and we appreciate your dedicated service. Before I get into the Reserve Officer of the Year, we had a couple of Reserve Officers just graduated from the Oakland Community College Reserve Academy just yesterday. Their names are Jeremiah Suzara and Philip Jones. Can you guys stand for us? These guys, as well as the other reserves on our program, are going to be putting in a lot of dedicated volunteer service to the Oxford community. I look forward to working with you guys. So congratulations. Reserve Officer of the Year, reserves, they volunteer tons of hours. And we're so thankful for that. The Reserve Officer that sticks out for me this last year is Reserve Officer Rick Shaw. Rick, can you come on up, please? Reserve Officer Shaw has been a Reserve Officer with the Oxford Police Department since 2014. Since then, he has volunteered countless of hours to serve the community of Oxford. Recently, he has taken it upon himself to service and keep clean the patrol units for everyday use. Rick also took the task on getting WeatherTech mats installed in patrol units, which was purchased by the Reserve program. Officer Shaw programs and replaces the police garage remotes as well as getting patrol units to the shop for necessary repairs. Every spare minute he has, he stops by the police department, he comes to my office, he says, Chief, what do you need? I'm here. I've got time. What needs to be done? I mean, what are you going to do about that? I mean, that's just fantastic. And Rick, You are a credit to the Ashland Police Department and our community, and we appreciate your dedicated service. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Here we'd like to recognize all the officers here today from the Oxford Village Police Department. Would Gary Rouse please come to the podium? These certificates state the American Legion families certificate of commendation proudly presented by the American Legion Walter Fraser Unit Host and Legion Riders and Sons of the American Legion. Rob Chupek.
Rob Chupik is on the road right now. He would like to be here, but he is busy right now, so I will give him a certificate, so thank you.
Tom Soap.
Zacola.
Zacola. Sorry, Tom.
Did he leave and have to go back out? Did he? Okay.
Robin Olsbach.
Yeah.
Reserve Officer Richard Shudden. God bless you. James Owen. Brady Cummings. And last and certainly not least, Mike Sowell. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
And now would Pete Schultz come to the podium? For the presentation of the firefighter here. Steve? Okay, the American Legion families certificate of commendation is proudly presented to Darren Belinsky. This commendation is awarded for outstanding public service benefiting our community, state, and nation. Presented this day, April 24th, 2022, by the Walter Fraser Unit Post and Family. And the next, Bob Beers. By the way, they are all escorted by our junior unit here in your Collision Auxiliary 108. Joanne Edmonds.
Thank you.
Kurt Fetcher.
She does it so
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
DJ Crump. David Berman. Timothy Delanis.
We need a story.
Stephen Juru.
He left. Thank you, Stephen.
Anthony Grable. Ronald Dallas.
Ellen, I think we need to hear some stories.
I know, but I would like to know what the woo is about.
Yeah. Yeah, so come on.
Good night. Kelly Gilmore.
I would have helped him all the way to the top. Yeah, right.
Brent Ludwig. Matthew Majestic. Hunter Marion. Ryan Mcclain. Sarah Racer. Chris Jared. Christina Sheff. Edgar Sedano. Kevin Snell. Benjamin Stepp. Justin Templeton. And again, last but certainly not least, Peter Schultz.
Thank you.
Now, Chief, I have a young lady that would like to do a special presentation to one of your firefighters before you get to this. It was a surprise. Adele? Oh, 1 second, she's got to get her surprise.
Oh, it's always a pan. That was surprising.
Okay, my name is Adele. I live in Addison Township, and 24 years ago, I had my first hip replacement. 7 years ago, it slipped out because I tripped and fell. Nothing wrong with it. Went back in place. I was in a public area. Ambulance came in White Lake. And they put it back in place. I called the doctor in the emergency room. I asked them what's going to happen to me, what are they going to do to me. I was very green with it. Didn't know. They checked it out. Well, they checked it out. He said it just slipped out. 17 years ago, they made them tiny. You should be fine, just be careful. So 3 months later, I was on my front porch. My husband was in the garage, and I bent over without bending my knees. Thank goodness there was a table, lawn chairs, and I literally saw my hip disassemble and dinged. And the first time I was scared, but I called the doctor. Second time, I knew what to do. I was familiar with the pain. I was familiar with what was going to happen to me going into the shakes. Didn't have a lot of time. So, first thing I did was call my husband. And by the way, I didn't mention, but my husband is my ultimate hero. He's always been there for me, and I have had 7 replacements in 24 years. Okay, so I called. I didn't want all the ambulance and all the noise and everything. So I called the fire station, and this very nice person answered the phone, and I asked him, very calm, I tried to stay as calm as I could so I could make sense. I said, "Who am I speaking with?" And he told me his name, and I said, "I just slipped my hip out again. And this is the second time in 3 months, so I know what's going on. I'm going to need you to come, but I don't want any sirens. I don't want the big hullabaloo. I just want you to come and get me off my porch. The problem is, I don't live in a level area, so I kind of like have a lot of stairs, maybe 14, 15 stairs going up my porch. I know how painful it was the first time when they tried to move me, and I was just on a sidewalk, and just to touch me, it was like, so I just nicely asked this gentleman I was speaking with, could you please just, I don't know how you're gonna get me off this porch. You may have to knock me out because I don't know how you're gonna do it. I would like this fireman to come up. Anthony, please. He was very, very extreme, patient, understanding, and most of all, he listened very, very well to every word I said, because I tried so hard to make sense without going into a panic, but again, I recognize that type of pain. So he reassured me, And then while I was waiting for them to come, I said, no sirens. I told my husband, he got there, and I said, listen, go in the house, get a bag, a travel bag, get underwears, get a pair of pants. Because the first time, they cut everything off. My daughter had to go to a store to buy me some stretch pants. I says, I know the drill. And give me my phone book, I'm calling my doctor. So, as before I'm going into the shades, waiting for the fireman, he goes, the doctor was on the phone. And I says, it's happening again, but I can't, I'm not in your district, I'm not going to your hospital. He said, you are gonna get that hip replaced, and it's not gonna happen again. Or on that ball joint. So when they got there, and I don't know who here was there. I applaud anybody who was there. But Anthony, I pointed you out. I said, where are you? He said it to me. I said, you were so good to me on the phone, because, I could be hysterical and which I was the first time. But you were just so kind, and after, I never said thank you. Now, when I was a kid, my mother, whenever somebody did something nice or something kind, she'd make a cake, or she'd make food to give to somebody to say thank you for what you've done. And that really sat with me all my life. And a lot of you haven't known me for a lot of years, but I've always done cooking out of love. So I said, one day I'm going to catch up with you, Anthony. I want to look for you. And I called the fire station sometime after, because I wanted to bake you a cake. And they said, you transferred to Oxford. Well, I never really go to the Oxford Fire Department. So today's the day, because I've never been to a firefighters, and I wanted to say thank you for what you did for me. You made an impact, and you were my hero. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it's funny, because I was asking if you were going to be attending, and Ellen said, I don't know what's his name. I said, Anthony, that's all I know. There were two Anthonys. So when he walked in, I wasn't really pointing you out. I was looking for someone with a badge so I could look for him and ask somebody, is there an Anthony here? But he was the one I approached. So I kind of got busted, because I said, do you happen to recognize me? And he goes, no, why should I? And I'm like, well, I live in Lakeville, and you did help me, and I didn't make a big deal of it. And I said, okay, but he said, well, you're doing good. I said, yeah. And I walked away, because I wanted to do this. I wanted to thank you so properly. So I made you some homemade tortilla chips, which are quite popular with my doctors, the nurses. Of all the years I've gone, my friends, my closest friends, my family, and it's made from my heart. Thank you so much. God bless you. You are a hero. And thank all of you for being there for our community. Much love. Thank you, Will.
That was really nice, thank you. American Legion, thank you on behalf of the entire fire department and their families, with the police department also. This is phenomenal that you guys have done this for us. It's not something that you have to do or required to do. It's something out of your hearts that you do to show your appreciation, and we greatly appreciate it, to show that that you do care and that you're looking out for us. the auxiliary for helping prepare the food and everything. Again, phenomenal stuff. Thank you for the pineapple upside down cake. It was great. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. This year, or I should say prior years, we get the notice and they're asking for who we want to nominate to be firefighter of the year. Normally I ask the department and get normally really good response. Every single time it's been pretty much unanimous of the ones that the participants that have gotten it all in years past. This year I decided to do it myself. This is my last chance to do it, so I wanted to do this one and to be able to put it forth. This individual has helped throughout this past year, and from the fire department side of it, village police also, has been one heck of a year. From COVID and everything that we've dealt with, the incident at the school that we've dealt with, has been very trying for the department, and this individual has stepped up during that time and supported everybody throughout the entire building, both sides of the station. This individual has taken it upon themselves to try to better everything around the station, to try to pick up spirits on everybody, looking out for each other, has really stepped up to the plate in doing their job and responsibilities on a regular basis, and has become a great support for the entire department. Going forward, I think this individual has great potential in leading the department at a future time, and I can only say thank you for everything that has happened. And so I wish at this time, if everybody could please join me in congratulating Lieutenant Kevin Snell for Firefighter of the Year.
Ellen, would you invite us in? Get a picture and hear that shout out? That's my dad.
So, thank you. I appreciate that, Chief. This caught me by surprise. When we talked about the award this year, we wanted to do something different. And the direction we had kind of looked at was after COVID, what happens with all the guys that picked up extra hours coming in the station, all the protocols they had to learn, all the potential dangerous situations they were looking into. We grew as a department. We grew part-time, full-time. We were living together. We were sleeping together. We were working out together, eating together, and it grew a really good bond for our entire department during COVID. So, in a very bad time, it was a very good time for the fire department. We did some good things. So, it was great for the fire department. We wanted to recognize everybody for their time and being involved in COVID. Then also after the tragedy of November 30th, we wanted to recognize all the responders who showed up, and all the people that were there for the school, all the people that wanted to be there for the school, all the people that showed up to the station to allow the people who were involved to go home to be with their families. So the intention of this award this year was to be for all of you. This was a unity award. We stood together. It was a really hard year or two for all of us, and I just wanted to do my part to help make things better for all of us. So thank you.
Louis Marshall, could you please stand up? When Mcclain reached out to us late January asking for our list of our roster names and everything, you still weren't back in town yet. So that's why you didn't make it onto the list. So I apologize for that part of it. But definitely everybody please recognize Louis Marshall.
Commander, can you come to the podium, please? Would the Chief of Police, Mike
Would you please come to the podium, please? It's funny that you mentioned about the incident at the high school. The American Legion family would like to present to the departments these plaques, and they read, Oxford Village Police Department, in recognition for your outstanding response on that fateful day, 11/30/2021, at Oxford High School.
In recognition of your outstanding response on that fateful day, 11/30/21, the Oxford High School, presented by American Legion Unit 108.
Yes. Now we come to a couple of awards that is given out in the community or to some individual in our organization, and that's called the Americanism Award. It is one of the highest awards that a unit or a post can give an individual for their community service to the state and nation. And we ask for bios from people, and I had received one from a young man that I work with. While working with POWMA Committee of Michigan, she has been introduced to many veterans organizations throughout the state of Michigan, taking great pride in volunteering for events with these organizations. She has volunteered at countless events, putting in countless hours, never asking or wanting recognition, just giving back for the freedoms that she and her family enjoy today. One of these events, and that she is very passionate about, is VBA Chapter 154 Annual Operation Christmas, where she would donate clothing, toys, package up food, and presents delivered to the veterans and families during the holidays. Throughout her volunteer efforts, she has met some incredible veterans, concerned citizens, Gold Star families, including in this former commander of the American Legion Post 108, Bob Bogner. Bob Bogner was very important and a close friend to her, to the point that he officiated her wedding. Another important family to her was the family of Byron Foudy, who was captured on May 12, 2007 in Iraq. She has worked closely with the Foudy family when his capture was made public. A plaque was created and dedicated at the Oakland Hills Memorial Garden in remembrance of Byron. She also has been involved with the Naval Junior ROTC program at Livonia Franklin High School. She has helped bring volunteer opportunities to the program, including Salvation Army bell ringing, and has been a major factor in the Veterans Day flag placing initiative at Detroit Memorial Park in Redford, Michigan. She was able to gather donations to purchase over 500 American flags to be placed on the veterans' headstones the Saturday before Veterans Day every year. Since 1996, she has been a member of the POWMIA Committee of Michigan and has been a member of the board, vice president, and is the current president. She has represented the POWMIA Committee of Michigan at the Michigan State Capitol, as well as Washington, D.C., where she has been to the POWMIA annual meeting, placed a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and spoke to the Vietnam Memorial, or at the Vietnam Memorial. As a member of the POWMIA committee, she has continued to help coordinate the annual POWMIA Recognition Day at Oakland Hills Memorial Garden in Novi, Michigan, that falls on the third Friday in September of every year. And if you have not attended that, please do so. It is really a nice ceremony.
She works with the local veterans group, local and state politicians to honor the prisoners of war and missing in action. Debbie Mcclain is the niece of Chief Aviation Electronic Technician Roland Robert Pinot. Roland served for 21 years in the United States Navy during the Korean and Vietnam War. On October 7, 1967, Roland's plane crashed into the side of the mountain in South Vietnam. Since Debbie learned of her uncle's accident, she has been heavily involved in the POW MIA issue. 40 years and 1 day after Roland's death, Debbie and her family were able to bring closure as they brought his remains home and buried him in Arlington National Cemetery. It is my honor to nominate Debbie Mcclain for the Americanism Award for the year 2022. Respectfully submitted, Sean Mcclain. Debbie? This Americanism Award is presented to Debbie Mcclain, although it says March 27th, I apologize, for her continuous service and support to the veterans programs, their families, and the communities throughout the state of Michigan, presented by ALA Walter Fraser Unit 108. And at this time, could we please have the Americanism Chairman for the American Legion, Sarah Eisenhart, to the podium.
I think our microphones are the worst, so my goal this year is to get new ones. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us this evening to honor our first responders and to also recognize our Americanism Award recipients for 2021-22. I would like to echo the words shared before me, those of Ellen Jackson, who has highlighted the significance of our Americanism Award. Community service is at the heart of the American Legion family's core beliefs. As an organization, we continually rededicate ourselves through our preamble to the Constitution, the sense of individual obligation to the community, the state, and the nation. Every American Legion location across this nation was chartered to serve a purpose. One of our core pillars is Americanism. The programs held up by this pillar start at the community level and engage all ages, from youth programs to veteran assistance. There is a quote out there that sits near and dear to my heart. For a community to be whole and healthy, it must be based on people's love and concern for each other. It is our privilege to recognize one community member in particular this year. She does not serve as a first responder in the same capacity as those in a uniform. Her response has been served in a separate and much needed way. Connie Miller has stood out to me personally over the past couple of years since I first met her. Not only do I serve the American Legion as the chairperson for Americanism, but I also serve as a volunteer intake coordinator for Love Inc. One thing I'm required to tell each person who calls in looking for assistance is that we are not an emergency agency. For many, they are already in an emergency situation before they make the call to us. For many of them, that call is difficult. One relief that I find I can always count on is Connie and her team's dedication to the Community Hot Meals program. I cannot tell you how many times I have heard relief in the voice of a mother or a father who has called in, and I can at least direct them to a hot meal while they wait for answers about their other needs. When Oxford was gathering as a community for a candlelight vigil in December, Connie recognized the students, most of them whose coats had been locked up in the school. She immediately opened doors to serve each and every need of warmth. offering to come in beyond scheduled hours for each student. On behalf of the American Legion family and the AMVETs here at Post 108, it is my honor to present Connie Miller with our 2022 Americanism Recognition Award and a contribution to her Hot Meals program.
It's the team. Eventually, the team. I know. It's not just me, it's the whole team. So thank you all, and thank you for your continued support, because it's still going on, and we still need each and every one of you. They want our, I'm loving it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Apologize for one individual who we missed off the list and everything. Amanda Richardson, please come up here.
Amanda will have your certificate. We'll give it to the chief. When Adele was speaking on her first responder, well, I personally, I don't live in Oxford, only part-time, but I had 2 incidents, and the first responders were so kind. She's right, very kind. I was sitting in the parking lot over there at the dollar store thing over there on 24, and I was having a heart issue, and I believe it was you that was there, had responded, and they all talked to me, made me calm, you know, you're gonna be okay, took care of me, said, don't worry about your car, don't do this, okay. And then I also had another incident at where I was staying, and that was, I'm hoping they really don't recognize me, but it was in the morning and the hair was a mess, and I needed some help. So I truly appreciate all the first responders, and I definitely appreciate the police department, especially last night, Chief. I have an auxiliary Legion rider that needs to speak for 2 seconds, and then we will have the closing prayer, but please, the recipients of the award, please stay a little bit after so that they can get pictures. Thank you. Most of you here know me as Sassy, and if you really know me, you know that fits. Normally, at this point, as you know, because most of you have been here before, I go ahead and I divvy up all the leftovers. But on your way out tonight, I want you to please stop by the appetizer/dessert table and please take some home. Our riders are extremely generous and thoughtful and care about all of you. And so we really went overboard with our desserts this year. And you know that normally I have them all lined up at the table to go back to your respective stations. And you know the routine, whoever's picking up. So being that we're not going to do that routine tonight, I'm going to do it now. So the routine is, before you take the food, I always do, look at my face. No, don't look at the food, look at me, look at my face. I drive a white Tahoe. I spend a lot of time in Oxford. Anthony knows that, he's laughing. So look at my face.
Mine too.
Yours too. And yes, I am sassy. And the EMTs would always laugh as they're standing in line to get their stuff, and they go, oh, we don't give tickets. No, look at my face. Because if I'm laying on the side of the road, you better do your damnedest to save my behind. Because we are the ones who feed you. And those desserts are non-calorie, only for about an hour after you eat them. So with that, I want to say thank you. The riders appreciate each and every one of you, and be safe out there. Thank you so much. Also, there's a couple people in the audience that I did not recognize. First and foremost is my husband, who was a Cass State Commander, Connie Jackson. And because we had a district meeting this afternoon, which I am the first vice for the district, our district president and our district historian / secretary had to come in late, and that's Darlene Jones and Shylene Jones back there in the back. Again, I thank each and every one of the first responders. And I thank you for coming out today, taking your time on a Sunday. I don't know if you're on duty or if you're not on duty. You took the time to come here, and I really appreciate that. And with that, we would like the chaplain, American Legion chaplain, to offer prayer.
Thank you to all you first responders. Words can't express how we feel about you. You're the backbone of this community, and we appreciate every single one of them. And I'd like to do the benediction right now. Almighty God, you lend your strength to all those who are there for us in times of crisis, fear, and hurt. You give courage to the first responders who continue to do this important work they are called to do. Looking beyond risk for the sake of those who need your help and protection. Please be safe out there, and please know that we're behind you all the way, and God bless every single one of you. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Hugh. And with that concludes our program for today.